What's up, guys? We're back here at the Crossworlds tournament in Tracy, California. We're going to start round 4 here shortly. We got a pretty nice matchup coming up between Chris Welch and Josh Valenzuela. Josh is playing Mass Saiyan and Chris Welch is playing the Mecha Frieza we saw from round 1. I'm joined by Caleb Williamson, teammate from Shenron's Lair. Caleb didn't do so hot. What happened today?
Just playing the deck I wasn't very experienced with. You know,
Scrubbed out.
You know how it is, yeah.
Demoted. Confirmed, all right? So now he's demoted to the caster's booth with me, and we're going to commentate on the matches, and yeah, we're going to see how it goes. Pretty exciting stuff. Both Josh and Chris are 3-0 now? Yeah, and we're in round 4. Yep. So we got 3 more rounds to go. They just need to win a couple more rounds, and they'll guarantee their spot in top 8. So yeah, let's take a look at the view for the game footage, and there they are getting ready to play. We're just waiting for the thumbs up to start the round, and there they go. So Caleb, what do you think about this matchup between Mass Saiyan and Mecha Frieza?
Well, I play Mass Saiyan quite a bit, and honestly, Mecha Frieza, because Chris Welch was playing the green version, and usually it's pretty hard because of the Kale. They just pop your Kaba and a couple other things when you attack, but Josh Valenzuela, I know he's played 2 Mecha Greens previously, and he's
in this tournament.
Yeah, in this tournament, and he's beat both of them.
Yeah, that's very impressive.
So,
yeah, we saw earlier on in the day, Chris Welch played against a Mass Saiyan as well, round 1, and he had a fairly easy time beating it. It's a deck, in my opinion, that kind of counters Mass Saiyan. It's just because the Mecha Greens can take their time setting up and getting all their stuff going. They're in no rush. Just a slow, grindy game. Nothing fancy, but it gets them the win. But yeah, Josh winning against 2 Mecha Friezas already today that were both veggies. It's interesting. We'll see how it goes. It's a funny note that Chris Welch is part of Team Shenron's Lair, and Joshua Valenzuela is part of our locals.
Yeah.
And Josh does really good at locals as well. So I'm not surprised to see him be pretty successful here today.
Yeah, he actually beat me last week. That's why I had to play the Mecha Saiyans deck, or the Mecha Veggies.
All right, pretty standard opening stuff. The game doesn't really get going for Chris Welch until the first maybe 2-3 turns. But for Mass Saiyan, they usually want to get their crit and swing with the furthering, right? That's kind of the play they want to go for.
Pretty sure that's what he's going to go for right now. Yeah, just the crit, though.
Oh, man, he misses the 5k boost.
Should be fine, though.
He did charge a blue, so he can't play Kaba or anything, but he does. Looks like he still wants to go for that furthering play.
I think he's charging the blue just so he can have that coercion active in case Chris Welch goes in for like a turn 2 super aggressive play.
Right, makes sense. So yeah, he's going in with the furthering for the double strike crit. And from the Mecha standpoint, I mean, you're going to either spend a lot of cards defending it, or you just accept the fact and take 2. So
yeah, I think he should just take 2, mainly because it'll help him self-awaken. He only has to play a couple extra cards to awaken, and he'll be fine.
Right, yeah. He takes the 2, and then now he just needs to play 2 extra cards.
Yeah.
He's awakened, starts getting the card advantage back, so he'll be in good shape even though he took 2 crit.
He did get a Shugesh, though, so that's painful.
Yeah, that definitely hurts. 2 Kales in the energy area. That's also interesting.
See Kaba.
So he doesn't have many Kale targets left, so we'll see if he gets 1 Kale, but he definitely wants the Khalifa just so he could be at 5 life and then possibly attack and Senzu Bean. So, and he does get the Khalifa. Now Chris is not playing the standard veggies, so he's not too dependent on the Kales. He's playing the Brawly package instead, or on top of it. So yeah, he did get another Kale, so that's 3 Kales.
Jeez. Yeah, Chris's list and my own are actually only 1 card different.
Okay.
Main difference is that he created the list, so he kind of envisioned of what the plays are.
Definitely.
And I was just piloting it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very tough to play something brand new and, expect to do good with it. It's kind of like that post recently Anthony Hernandez made, where how important is playtesting with a deck. Is there such a thing as practice makes perfect in this game, and absolutely there is. The more you play a deck, the more used to it you get, and the better and more optimal plays you'll make.
Yeah, because if you think about it, there's a reason why Chris charged his Kales. You know, obviously he had to play the Kaba, so he charged the Kale. And if you know that as the Massane player, that tells you, you know, maybe what's in his hand. He doesn't have any other green targets, something like that.
Right. Chris is awakened here already, and he's going to start getting some card advantage. Going to make up for that double crit he lost. Ooh, shows the flying Nimbus.
It's a good thing to know.
Yeah, that's actually really important.
I think that's going to make him a little bit nervous to play the Nimbus now.
That's right, yeah, that's very right.
Because it's revealed. Josh Valenzuela is actually a really good player. I've seen him and played with him a lot of times, and one thing he knows is his deck's inside and out.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he knows what he's doing.
Definitely. All right, Chris is going down to 3. That's
Pretty-
kind of low.
Pretty early for that, too.
Right. Especially against Massane, who could play the furthering at any time, and they're going to be constantly swinging with their leader anyway. So, yeah, we'll see what Chris's plans are.
Those playmats are pretty awesome by Ultra Pro.
Yeah, they really are. We gave away one on stream already, and I believe we're going to give more later on in the day. I believe in top 8. After this round. I'm sorry. Yeah, after this round, we're going to give the one on Josh Valenzuela's side. They call it the Squad All-Star one. Yeah.
I actually like that better, the squad.
Yeah, the All-Star one is really nice. So is the Goku one. The Goku one's pretty clean.
So we're going into Massane turn 2, it looks like. Charging a red. I think he's going to try and self-awaken within the next turn or two. Get some value.
Yeah, definitely. Awakening is Massane's goal because as Mecha, you could just stall it out. So
Yeah, this from playing Massane myself, this turn right now and the next turn, you basically need to awaken, otherwise you're not going to win the game on pure card advantage.
right.
So hopefully he can get it through.
You know, if he didn't charge the Kaba and played a different red, he could have played Kaba and this Increasing Evil and Awaken, but
I think he could have got away with charging a Furthering, which is in his hand.
right.
Because he already did his 2 crit, and he's already down to 2 life.
Wow, so Chris went down to 2 to play that Bloodlust, and
Oh, man.
Josh misses again the 5k boost. Do you think this is the time for Josh to just go in with the leader? Obviously, there's no blockers, and a negate's going to cost Chris Welch another life. Do you think he just swings with leader and tries to end it?
I think seeing the 2 Kales, he needs to understand that Chris probably plays the Broly package as well, so that's kind of his, instead of playing the explosive Goku, he has the Brolys. So he's going to have a lower count on the Gokus.
Right.
So he needs to get another card in play before going all in. That way he can just sack it for the Broly if that's Chris's out to that.
Right, right.
Or he can just simply double strike and then see if he combos out of that.
Right. He does have the furthering in hand.
You notice he also plays the Hand Destruction Mira over Realms. Josh does.
Oh, wow.
That's usually the tech card in the deck, is which mirror do you pick.
Uh-huh.
I think that one's probably the best, just because it's an immediate value.
Right. And if you swing to a Awakened Leader, especially in this situation right now, Chris will have to block it with, you know, some extra combo power. So,
Right.
and Josh's passes, I'm kind of surprised. Oh, he didn't have the 5k boost, but he could have swung with Leader. Just didn't feel safe. Chris does have a pretty big hand, so that's understandable.
And then, does Chris have the explosive in hand? I didn't see it.
I can't tell at the moment. It does not look like it.
No.
And Chris is only at 2 lives, so he has to play very careful, be very thoughtful about which energies he uses. He does have a yellow charge, so that means he can play a Nimbus without taking life.
not having those Kales on board and having to attack still is pretty good for Josh.
Yep.
That way he gets his cards.
He plays Orsing, Power Trunks, one of the best super rares in the set, one of my favorites in the set. Just grabs back, absolutely what you need.
Yep. The deck uses Shugesh for so many targets that it almost has to have a way to reuse it.
Right. Yeah, I remember we used to have a conversation. What do you think is better, Scientist Fu or Trunks Orsing Time? Where you have to pay 2 energy to get one card that of your choice, or you pay 1 energy to get 2 random cards. Both are really good. I think getting the card that you know you want is a little bit more valuable.
Yeah, especially because if you do the math on a Mecha Frieza deck, typically their deck is like 40 to 50% extra cards. So you're gambling 2 card draw. You might get 1 combo card.
Right.
But you probably get some extra cards.
Right.
Which might not be useful.
Absolutely. And then this way you just get your super combo, which is one of the most, enabling cards. So Josh also has Trunks.
He's going to send all those cards to his board, making his super combo active and also grabbing a super combo. I think that needed to happen before the game continues. That way, his super combos are actually active.
Yeah.
So I think that's why he did that. And to have that double strike threat is very intimidating.
Yep.
Now we see him get just the boost.
Which is okay because, it's not like Chris has many life to get critted with. So I think it's a good thing. I really think Swing with the Leader can put a lot of pressure and possibly end the game. He does have 3 super combos, and each one draws another combo piece.
He did Nimbus, but he did not do the effect.
Right.
So it looks like Chris is feeling pretty safe then.
Yep. So here we go. Josh might go for it.
I think
and
this is where he needs to go all in.
And he's going for it.
Yeah.
He does have the energy for the furthering.
And it's on his leader, so I don't think Mecha can get out of 3 super combos, especially since his don't draw.
Right. Chris is gonna need some help from the Goku tokens, the Goku Black tokens.
Does he have those?
He has one
in his hand.
He has one in his hand. But Josh is just going for it.
He needs to go all out.
Do it. Go all in then.
All in, bro. It's interesting seeing a teammate and a local friend playing each other.
Right.
You want to root for both sides.
So it looks like Josh has 70,000 combo power. So Chris is going to play Senzu Bean first. Just get some energy. Get another card maybe. And let's see what he gets. Oh, that was the worst. And Monaka. That's not going to help at all. Sugesh into black. Get some extra tokens, extra value. It's going to look close, but I feel like Josh has this one. So 20, 30, 40. Chris has 60 on board. He needs 15 more. Oh man, he might do it.
Yeah, I think Josh is going to kick himself for not going all in.
Earlier?
Earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris has it. It's just a matter of which ones, which cards he's going to combo with. Yeah, Chris debating which ones to keep on field. He definitely has the power though, which is kind of bad news for Josh. But then again, Josh is at 5 life. So
he did Senzu Bean to go down to 1. So if Josh has an overwhelm threat, which he does.
But he played Trunks this turn.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So he needs to survive the next turn and go in.
And, you know, if Josh used the 2 cards in his hand, he would have had it.
I think so.
Yeah. I don't. Why did he not do that? It's very surprising.
I think that's just kind of where playtesting comes in, is you need to know when to go all in,
Right.
when to play it safe, and I know Josh is a very safe player, so he probably just didn't feel comfortable going all in on that.
Right. I mean, it looks like he wants to save the Kala for next turn to awaken, and then the Trunks to overwhelm, but there's no need for a next turn. You could just end it right now.
Yeah. That's another reason why the black super combo is really good, because as you can see, Josh is at 5 life.
Yes.
Alright, so Chris Welch just charged a blue energy to get his Senzu Beans active. Now, while I was playing that deck, that's kind of the prime energy where I wanted to be, was 2 green, 1 yellow, 1 blue. And then I pretty much just stopped after that because there's no reason to keep going.
Right, yeah. Yeah, your Brawly Evolves ideally should only cost 2 green anyway. So,
Yeah,
that's kind of all you need. But for Chris, he doesn't have much options here. And Josh still does have 2 cards in his hand.
and 4 life.
Right. So, I'm surprised that Chris actually awakened Josh. But then again, Josh had the awakening method anyway.
It looks like Chris is saving his green energy for a Broly 1-drop. Gain
Huh.
some value, maybe.
Right. I drew a Senzu Bean, which is dead right now.
Because he just tapped his blue.
Right. Josh has 5 cards in his hand. Not looking good for Chris. Chris try to gain some value, possibly protect them from the next attack. And now it's Josh's turn. And this is going to be where it most likely ends. Josh needs to just swing, and that's game.
Yes, Chris is tapped out with simply just combo. So, pretty sure he has game 1 in the bag.
Yep. Josh using the Kata's effect and gets a hard, which is really nice right here.
Especially since those 3 energy standing.
Yeah, he could play hard and just restand his whole energy. Get another attacking. Josh going to 25. That should do it. And yeah, Chris scoops.
Game 2.
Yep,
Save some
game
time.
2. Definitely. Yeah, that was looking really good for Josh. He had Chris Welch right on low health count right from the beginning. Chris couldn't get any of his Brawly balls out. It looked pretty slow.
Yeah, I think hitting him for 2 crit in the beginning is just really nice against Mecha because they use their life as a resource. And so if you're basically denying them that resource.
Right. Yeah, that's very true. Now you don't get to use your extra cards for free as much as you would like to. You know, whereas if you have 8 life, you could play 4 extra cards, get 4 value cards, but that's not the case when you get critted. You just straight up lose 2 cards. But I think you do get the advantage back, even with awakening faster and playing the KOs and critting them back. And I think that's what's the most important thing in this matchup, is for the Mecha Veggies player to play their KO and just swing with KOs only. I think doing that against Mass Saiyan almost guarantees you to win because Mass Saiyan eventually gets down in hand size and they just can't recuperate that.
Yeah, and the trick to Mass Saiyan is that they have a really low investment curve on their plays because like they run the super rare trunks and then all the 1-drops, the topos. Pretty much nothing costs more than 2 or 3 mana, or energy, I should say. And if you can overcome that barrier with, say, Kales and just attack and then pass, eventually the Mass Saiyan deck is just going to stall out.
Right, yeah, absolutely. Did you see what Josh Ramsla just cited in?
I did not. What did he say?
Oh, man, that's some spice right there. He cited in 4 Sun Gotens, and it looks like 4 Toas, the one that steals 2 or less battle card.
Wow.
So he's going to steal those Kabas, those Khalifas, and he's going to Sun Goten them on top. Wow, that's 8 cards, 8 anti-veggies. He was prepared for this matchup. That's what it looks like.
Yes. Not to mention he can pop the 3-drop Broly promo.
Oh yeah, absolutely, that too.
I think that's going to be, as long as it doesn't mess with his consistency, that's going to be a pretty big nail in the coffin.
Yeah, definitely.
For game 2.
I'm not sure what Mecha Veggies can possibly side in, because the matchup is pretty straightforward. You might play with your ratios a little bit, like siding in a little bit more Cold Bloodlust for the Haru Haru, or you know, maybe some more Flying Nimbuses, because that hurts Mass Saiyan as well. But overall, I feel like there's no secret tech or, you know, silver bullet against Mass Saiyan.
I think one really good card for Bionic Frieza is Whis Coercion, just because you don't have to take a life to do it if you have blue energy. And just negating the leader attack makes them attack with the battle card, which you can just Shugesh and pop.
Right. Yeah, that's very true. Right, we see our players setting up for game 2. Josh Valenzuela up 1-0 against Chris Welch.
Opening up with the Champa and the Goten, and it looks like a Kaba. Pretty good starting hand.
Yeah. Chris also has 2 Planet Vegetas for his starting hand.
Ooh.
They're still in the mulligan phase, so they're going to keep some of that. Yeah.
Looks like Josh is just going to keep his hand, which honestly
Wow.
I would probably do the same. Question is, what do you charge?
Yeah, sometimes you get a hand so good that you don't want to charge those.
Yeah. One card I've been pretty partial on is Bodyguard Legic. I don't know how much I like it. I feel like it's really situational and not always good, but I guess that just makes it a charge target.
Right. I found in my playtesting that it's really good against decks like of Chris Welch's right now, where they play floaters, 1-drops or 2-drops. So against those type of decks, it could come in pretty clutch. It's just a free pressure card, but I think it's more suited for a deck like Pan, where it would get a draw effect off that. I don't think it's necessary in Mass Saiyan, but definitely not good against Apes.
Yeah.
Apes do not play a threat until about their 3rd energy to play King Vegeta, or maybe they'll play March on their 2nd energy.
Right.
But usually they don't. By the time they play a threat, you don't want to really play that Gitch. It's not going to do anything.
Right, yeah. I was talking to Josh, and he actually mentioned Apes when he played the Legic. And he was saying he plays it against them basically because the first 2 turns he's going to swing leader and pretty much just play overwhelm cards, and that's it. I wasn't really agreeing with that, but for him it seems to be working, so maybe it's a good tech against Apes.
Yeah.
In that situation.
Yeah, I could see that.
Just for some defense. Looks like he started up a Haru Haru, which is really strong in that deck.
Yeah, especially against Mecha Frieza. The Mecha Frieza player will have to Bloodlust it. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but if you follow it up with like 3 Haru Harus and you don't have a Senzu Bean, then it hurts.
Yeah. I noticed Josh is, looks like he's not playing Dark Plot. He's just playing pure battle cards, which is interesting.
Got the boost and the critical.
There we go. Got a good shuffle in, I guess.
Would you Sun Goten the Brawly here? Or would you save it for a Kaba?
Honestly, from playing both decks, I would save it for a Kaba because
I think so too.
they don't evolve on top of that Broly. He just sits there.
Right. So Chris is negating the attack just to go down in life to 5 life now. And he got another flying to miss from that.
Looks like he's going to try and Shugesh and set up a good board because he had a nice start with planets.
Charges another Brawly.
Play his Kaba down.
Yep.
If he chooses Caulifla, he's going to have to go down to 3 life.
He's at 5 life right now.
Oh, he's
so
at 5.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
this is the optimal play
Yeah.
for him.
This is
That way
exactly what he
can
wants.
make it. Exactly.
He gets 2 bodies on the board, one being a 20k attacker, and now he's at 4 life. Gets to awaken, swing, draw, just lots of value. And that's why this deck is so good, because of just the constant value you get so early. I mean, every deck does this stuff. It's just Mecha Veggies does it on turn 2.
Right. I think the key to beating Bionic Frieza is going to be denying value in a way that, for example, half their value is extra cards, as in like Bloodlust, Crusher Ball, that sort of thing. So if you make your deck to where they don't really care about Bloodlust, basically like what Mass Saiyan does, you know, Overwhelm cards, low commitment, cards that are just big attackers, it helps you a lot because, you know, half their deck, half their engine where they get value from, no longer gains value from you.
Right.
So I think that's kind of a key to beating the meta, is finding the value in things and changing your deck to not give that value away.
Right. Did Josh activate his effect? No, okay.
Not
He's gonna
yet.
do it right now. Gets to, oh, he gets both. But there's a Goten, so that kind of gives away to Chris that the Goten's were sighted in. So he needs to be a little cautious of that now.
Not much he can do about it aside from negating Josh's attacks, but it is needed to be
Right.
noticed.
Yeah, so Josh can easily attack the leader right now.
Go for double strike, crit.
He could do, oh yeah, yes. Does he have furthering in his hand?
I
It
believe
looks like it, yep.
yes, and
So-
go tend to pump it up even
Right.
higher. I think that's what I would do if I were him.
Yep, there's the Champa.
We'll go all
25k double strike crit. And
the- kill that Kaba.
yep, that's what you
Yep,
want to do.
there we go.
30,000. Kills the Kaba.
Now it's 30k. Can't Shugesh Kale.
Right.
Really tough spot.
Does Chris have a Goku Black in his hand? Does not. So he's going to have to Senzu Bean to 3 life. Got a Brawly. Doesn't really help much. He's going to Sugesh. Into a Brawly.
And again, that's some
35.
example of value being denied is Josh doesn't have any battle cards in play.
Yep.
So that pop
absolutely.
effect is gone.
Yeah.
But he does gain the card in play, so. As now we see his other sideboarded card, Time Ruler Toa,
Oh,
coming into
man.
play, and he's stealing the Caulifla.
Wow.
Josh got the optimal play for his side.
Wow. He's going to swing with it.
Watchers, better copy this.
This
how you
is
do
some
it.
tech right here, guys. So 20k, Chris did Senzu Bean, so he's at 20 as well. Just needs to get rid of 1 card.
One thing I had noticed with Time Ruler Toa is that when you steal the battle card, it doesn't put it in active mode, which I personally didn't like that because you know, they would attack with everything and then you'd steal it in rest mode. But I guess that was really useful in this situation because Chris didn't want to be aggressive with his Kaba or Khalifa and risk them dying.
Right. So yeah, it looks like a Josh comboed with the Toa to make it 25, and then Chris just played Sugesh. So once again, Chris is at 3 life to 7 of Josh, and Chris has to be careful. He can't extend too much. You know, furthering destruction from a leader is all it takes.
Looks like Josh has 2 Harus at hand.
Yeah, he has 2 Harus and 2 Senzu Beans.
Jeez.
So yeah, energy for days, right?
What is tapped out? He doesn't know.
So the Khalifa is rested, so Chris can attack the Khalifa and kind of not awaken Massane, not give him cards.
That might be a problem.
Right, Chris needs to stabilize. That's
Yes.
his goal right now.
And that's another sort of idea that I think is good to master, is stabilizing and realizing that when people do these explosive plays, you need to be able to halt that and stabilize a board and kind of bring the game back at a good pace.
Yep. So yeah, he's comboing to 20 to kill the Khalifa. It's gone. That's Chris's card. And honestly,
I think Josh is okay with that.
you could just... Oh, okay, that's nice.
This is where...
So we'll see what Josh gets rid of. One of each. Senzu and a Haru.
Yeah. He's going to go kind of for a safe play.
Yeah.
Because if he bloodlusts the Haru,
Mm-hmm.
Senzu Bean is still good to have for maybe the next turn.
Right. And Chris passed his turn, which is, in my
Optimal.
opinion, yeah, exactly what you need to do here. If Josh charges here, then he only has 2 cards in his hand. Chris will just need to defend the leader attacks 1 turn at a time and just stabilize.
Yes, Josh is in a tough place. I saw him side out his Mass Saiyan special pack promo, at least one of them for the Gotens and Toas. So he's going to have a little bit of a hard time awakening.
Mm-hmm. So there's a 5k critical. And that's another strength of Mass Saiyan, that even if you're not awakened, just keep putting the pressure on.
Yes, but make sure to keep your deck count.
Yeah. And Chris tosses away Khalifa. It's Haru.
Does he have the Bloodlust?
Doesn't look like it. So
Wait,
once,
is he attacking right away?
yeah.
He's not going to untap his energy?
Misplay.
I think that's a little misplay on Josh's side.
Yeah.
Uh,
Maybe he felt like he doesn't need it. I don't need this energy.
I
I only have
guess.
1 card in my hand. It's going to go away anyway.
I have life. He has enough life to survive. Yeah,
But yeah, see here he gets to swing to the battle card, and that's exactly what Chris wanted. Another KO. He wants to just keep swinging with KOs. Don't give any cards to Josh's hand.
I think this, playing the Goku Black, he's going to get out some 10k tokens, which are really good against non-awakened leaders, as they can swing for damage without committing hardly anything.
And what's nice in this matchup, though, is that if Mass Saiyan gets his 5k boost, he's just going to use a token.
Exactly.
So that's 2 turns of Mass Saiyans that he could block with just a token. And Josh being so low in hand size.
He did get the Mass Saiyan to help him awaken, but I think he needs to save that for later and just kind of slow down a bit.
I agree. I think you could get away with not even charging anything. And
Yeah.
just leader and swing and pass.
Especially since his mana curve is 4 drop max,
Right.
so no point.
So he's going for it.
All right. Looks like he wants to pop the Broly, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is a decent play. Just get rid of that and take a life, hopefully. And that's not actually optional.
Oh, he has to take the life?
Yeah. I'm going to tell the...
He has to take the life.
Oh, yeah, here we go. They're correcting it. All right. Sounds good.
So yeah, Josh is at 6.
Yeah, that card is a pretty good special pack card. If you choose to pop a card, you have to, well, if you choose to take the life, you have to pop a card. So he popped the card, so basically he had to take the life to do that.
I think even taking the life is mandatory.
You can choose not.
Really? I think it's mandatory.
I know the effects are tied, so if you do one, you have to do the other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely. All right, so there's a kill that Chris won. Now that's going to do some work. It's going to let him draw. It's going to deny Josh cards.
That's a scientist food. That would have been really good for Josh to stabilize.
Yeah, get some more cards in his hand. And Josh needs some help. If he
Awakening.
top decks the Kaba.
Right. See it.
What do we get?
I don't think so, but
Oh, the card. It's a Goten. Yeah, it's okay.
with the Goten, he can pop that
The
Goku Black,
yeah.
which is still useful, and pump his leader, but he's going to charge it.
Not a bad idea. It's kind of a dead card anyway. Might as well get some energy.
Yeah, once he gets to 4, he can kind of just stop. Oh, he does play the Dark Plot.
Wow.
Now that's an interesting card because as long as you have Haru in your drop or in your warp, as well as an Overwhelm card, it's essentially immune to Bloodlust as long as they're yellow.
Right. Yeah, so the play is when you play Dark Plot, your opponent has to respond with a Bloodlust or not. So if they do Bloodlust, you just pick an Overwhelm card and restand energy because that's what Dark Plot says. And then if they don't Bloodlust, you pick Haru and restand energy.
Looks like he's just going to go for the 20k for
Right.
higher power.
I think that's what, yeah, he wants.
He doesn't have Haru anyways in hand.
And with Dark Plot, it's just a regular play, so it's not like Overwhelm where it goes away at the end of the turn.
Right.
So he might have got that 20k, hoping to kill that KO. But Chris is going to protect that at all costs.
Yes.
There's no way he's going to let it die.
Yep. And being the Mass Saiyan, being in rest mode, gives his Frieza leader a target to attack into and not give up any life.
Yep.
I think he's just going to combo with the token. Oh, Senzu Bean.
Yep, so Chris can combo with the token.
And something else.
Yeah. Josh has no hand right now.
I'll get rid of that. Broly, yeah, it's good.
So this is kind of the interesting scenario. Josh is kind of going all in for it. Oh, yeah, that stays. Yep. Josh is going all in. Just being very aggressive every turn. Hoping that Chris doesn't have an answer, but Chris has an answer each time.
It's a pretty good tactic. I think it's good to do that as long as you have Miraculous in your deck. That way if he top decks it, he can just swing.
That would be really nice.
I don't know if he runs it, but it'd be cool if he did.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not like Chris has a huge advantage either. He only has 3-4 cards in his hand.
Yeah. He's just going to try and build up a board and figure out when to go all in.
Right. See, I don't necessarily agree with the attacking battle cards because right now, yeah, see, Chris can just swing to the battle card, draw, and do nothing. Swing with KO, draw, do nothing. And you're just feeding into it, Chris's advantage. So I don't agree with Josh doing that play.
Right. That's one thing that I've noticed with getting stalled out is you kind of just have to stop playing cards until your opponent awakens you and then continue playing cards.
I'm so surprised that Chris went for that. I think he could have just... I'm not sure if... It's a choose up to effect, right? He didn't have to choose that Mass Saiyan.
He could have popped nothing.
Yeah, he could have popped nothing, and he could have swung into it to draw an extra card.
We see Chris Welch crit a Furthering Destruction, which is really nice.
I think Awakening Josh is a little... I don't know. I think I would have liked one more turn. Be super safe.
Right. Josh comes into a little situation with his Toas that he sided in where he has no targets. That's one reason why I don't like it a whole lot. It is decent, but when they don't have targets, it's just a 10k. So maybe not a 4 of.
Right. Does have a Scientist Foo. And Chris is showing a yellow, though.
It might have a Bloodlust.
Yeah.
I think the play here is mill and attack with leader first.
Yes, absolutely. And
but that presents another problem, though, is because Nimbus is such a big thing. If you attack leader first, you're getting the inefficient attack sequencing.
Yep. So no 5k boost, just a 15k critical.
I think the boost would have been better.
I agree. At this point of the game, you want to get them in double strike range and try to kill them off. So swing with a 15k critical leader.
Chris Welch having 2 kills on board means he can just dump his hand every turn and refill it up, which is absolutely disgusting.
Chris is going to Flying Nimbus that.
Yep, but no discard.
Wow, that is interesting as well. tap yourself out. So now you're vulnerable to any drop. Free lead glitch that possibly coming into play.
Gaming clutch, I guess.
Yeah. You might block one of those KO attacks.
We see a Crusher Ball in Chris's hand, so he has life. He could just Crusher Ball something that Josh plays.
Right. So if Josh plays Fu right here, Scientist Fu, and he draws into a Furthering Destruction, that would be pretty clutch.
I think, does he have 7 in the discard is the question.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he probably does not.
He might, well.
He might have maybe 6.
I think he's just going to go for defense for now. That having the Yadrobi is nice to get rid of one of those kills, theoretically. Right. And then the Legic to block the other one. And I think if he survives this turn and deals with the Kale next turn, definitely going to go all in. But Chris has that Crusher Ball, so.
Yeah, he has 2 Crusher Balls. Thinking about what to charge here. He does only have 5 cards in his hand.
Josh really needs to get that Scientist Fu in play and get the effect off.
I agree. I think you charge a Crusher Ball here to get another yellow in play, go down to 4 cards, so you could swing him at both KLs and draw.
And then swing leader.
Yep, so he opts for no charge.
I think Josh should block with the Yadrobi.
So he's going to block Yadrobi, yep. Draw a card, and yep, battle's over.
Yadrobi is also really good against the Ape deck because they don't run very much removal.
Right.
And Revenge gets around barrier. Looks like there's about 20 minutes left in the round, it looks like.
Yep.
Game 2 taking
25 minutes left, almost.
Game 1 took up a good amount of time, and Game 2 about the same. 15, 20-minute games.
Yep. And every turn is crucial here, because when you play against Massane, double strike is usually, 2 life is usually the lethal range.
Yep. Oh, comboing the Scientist Fu.
Wow.
To get out of the crit.
Right.
I think he just doesn't want to get double striked.
I see.
No, Chris Welch doesn't actually run the Furthering Destruction Champa, which I know is a card that you teched into your green deck.
Yes.
Just because it's super, super powerful, as you can see in Matt's saying.
Yep. Yeah, when it comes to the late stage of the game, with Mecha Veggies, you just draw so much. I only played 2 Furthering Destruction, and I always had it when I needed it. I didn't need any more or any less. It was perfect. Get them to 2 life, swing with your leader. You're protected from the explosive Spirit Goku. You don't have to worry about that. And then just double strike for game.
Yep.
So once again, Josh is down to 1 card in his hand.
Wow, that's rough.
Yeah, it's going to be very tough from this point on.
Especially with those 2 Crusher Balls.
Yes.
6, 7 cards in hand.
Yeah.
I think this game's going to go to Game 3.
I think so too. So it looks like Chris stabilized, like what we were talking about. He got the Kales out and just started swinging with them and brought himself back.
Ooh, Trunks over. I think he's just going to Crusher Ball that. He'll get a card to hand, but Crusher Ball so it doesn't.
Protect yourself.
Essentially like Fog from Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
No damage for the turn.
Yep.
He does have leader active though, so maybe he'll go for a Champa. Nope, super combo. I think Champa would have been an interesting play there, just to flip the mill and go for.
Ooh, there's a Champa.
Double.
Yeah.
Both effects go off with Massane Mill. Very optimal. No negates in hand.
And Josh is in such a tough spot. He's thinking really hard about this.
needs to attack. He needs to get him down to 2.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you attack the Kale or the leader? Because there's a Kaba.
Kale's not a bad choice, just because he is 20k. Flip to Kaba, no. If he goes into his next turn with 2 life at least, that might be a game ender because he can just go down to 1, swing for double with that Kaba.
Yeah, I think at this point, for this turn anyway, I think Josh is playing not to lose. He's not playing to win. He's playing to not lose, you know? He doesn't want to lose on Chris's next turn. So he's trying really hard. Gets a lot of value, that's for sure. Gets rid of Brawly.
Yes, which also means got rid of a Shugash because I believe Chris Shugashed that Brawly out.
Yes.
So now he gained almost no value from that Shugash except for blocking an attack.
Right. So it's 30k to the Kale. Chris wants to protect it because, I mean, it's a Kale. The crits are too good.
I think he needs to just let it die.
Right. He just might do that.
35.
Oh, man. You see him picking up 4 cards.
35 to the Kale.
That's a big investment right there.
If he does that, I think it might lose him the game just because he won't have any cards in hand. He'll be top decking once he flips another Kale.
Right. But he does get 2 draws a turn. Alright, so it looks like
Taking a life.
he's taking a life. Gets a Brawly.
Oh, yeah, he's just going to combo out with that.
Which is not bad, yeah.
He doesn't
He needs
have,
to untap 2 energy.
Yes.
And he does so.
he doesn't have the 3-drop in place, so that 5-drop is kind of useless.
So 35 to the Mass Saiyans. 35. And 1 more. 40. Alright, so he stopped the damage. But that was not really easy, you know. He's down to 2 life now. And that's the range Mass Saiyan wants you to be in. Chris charging that Goku Black. That's very interesting too. Playing the Goku Black and getting the tokens would have been nice.
Yes. That card is very good.
Kaba gets a Kale.
I think he's going to play that Kale out and try and seal the game here.
Yes.
Because the Kaba reduces the specified cost first on the Kale, so it only costs 1 green.
Yep.
Plus the other 2.
The Kale swings are just so good. Criticals and drawing.
Crit him once. He's going to
play another one.
Josh doesn't have much in hand, maybe just a combo card. Really rough.
Chris tapped 1 green and 2 blue. And he's going to pop the Kaba. Could have popped the Kale in my opinion. Use that Kaba for combo power. Because this is most likely going to be it. Gets another crit.
Swing leader.
And Josh says no negates, and this is when you do it.
Oh,
you have any?
Shugash.
Shugash.
Yeah, that's gonna be it.
Icing on the cake. Don't even have to think. Just go in. Whiffs the Kaba. Pretty much all Kales and Cauliflowers are gone. And there you go. That's game. So game 3. So even though Josh cited those really anti-Mecha Veggies tech, seemed like Chris still pulled it out.
Yeah, I think the Toas aren't necessary. The Sun Gotens are really nice. One of the biggest things that Chris can do, and that you saw him do, was negate the leader attack, because he mills the deck, which gets rid of some key cards, negates all those bonuses that he got, and he can't combo either, so he has to go into a battle card, which he can just pop.
Right. That's true. All right, game 3. There's only about 20, 25, no, 15 minutes left.
15
All right.
minutes. It's going to be quick.
Yeah, they're going to have to be pretty quick
Opening
about
hand.
this.
Let's see what the opening hands are.
Yeah, that game 2, you know, in the beginning it really did seem like in Josh's favor. But once he went down to about 2 to 3 cards in hand, he just couldn't bring it back. And he kept playing these battle cards, kept trying to push through, but it didn't work out. Maybe he should have just saved those cards and not do that and explode all in one turn perhaps. But that is the game. That's the decisions we make.
Yeah, when I was playing a couple weeks ago against David, he did that to me and he stalled me at 6. And that's kind of what my strategy was just keep as many self-awakening cards as I can. That's actually what I mulliganed for against Mecha Frieza because, actually because what you were saying when we were playtesting, how you said you would just stall him out. And so I figured I could take 2 crits and it'd still be okay, and then have a couple self-awakening cards. But yeah, you really need to get those in your opening hand.
Right. Yeah, you know what? That was one of the problems with Soul Striker in set 2, right? Awakening. It's just you would always get stalled out. But that's why people played Result of Training.
4 of.
Yeah, and it would always get to turn 5 and they would guarantee Awakening. But now in this meta, you can't get to turn 5.
Right.
So you can't play Result of Training anymore. And if you do, it's too late. So you gotta find other ways to awaken with cards such as Kaba or increasing Evil Massane. Even no opening Son Goku, I see some people take that into their non-yellow decks just to get the life into their hand and try to awaken.
Yes.
As much as people say, you know, oh, it's not all about awakening, and it's not. It still plays a huge factor in determining the winner of the game.
Still about card advantage.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so Chris versus Josh, game 3, 8 life. Let's see who was going first. Does this Chris have 8 life? Yeah, for a second they thought it might be 9. Massane versus Mecha Frieza.
Looks like Josh didn't open any self-awakening cards, but he does have super combo and a furthering, which is good.
Right, and Chris opened up with a Planet Vegeta. It's always nice to get in your first turn. Does Josh have the furthering destruction?
He does.
He does, yeah. Always had it. Gets the crit, gets the 5k.
See him slide in there and get that
Yep.
double strike.
Turn 1, 25k double strike crit.
Like Vegeta all over
I
again.
know. Overwhelm Trunks. Get some value. And that looks like a super combo.
I think that'll make it to where he has 3 in hand.
It does. Yeah, 3 super combos this hand.
Pretty good for him. He could go
Yeah.
all out really early. And
Yeah, that's the nice thing about playing with the black super combo where you don't need to be at 4 life.
right. I think out of all the new ones, it's probably second best, only followed by Shugesh, just because of Mecha Frieza.
Right. I agree. Josh decides not to attack with the Time Patrol Trunks. Swung with the leader, but Chris negated it, so he stopped that 25k double strike crit coming in.
Gives him an extra turn to set up.
That's true.
Once again, we see that turn 1, Broly, turn 2, Kaba.
Yep. Chris looking for that Khalifa. Doesn't get it. Gets a KO instead. So it is tempting right here for Chris to just swing and Senzu Bean up, but I really think you should just take your time. I don't think you're in a rush. And that's what he does, he passes. Yeah, it's very tempting to swing, Senzu Bean up, get something from your life, maybe another combo or something, you know? It's very tempting to blow up like that, but sometimes it's not worth it in the long run.
Right. Josh is in a little bit of a tough spot because, well, Chris isn't even attacking him. So he's got to figure out how much resources he wants to waste before he awakens.
Yeah, and we saw Josh got rid of another further destruction Champa, so Chris negates again.
It's going to be really juicy when Chris plays his 5-drop Broly.
Right, so Chris is now at 5 life, so he's pretty close to awakening. And Josh is at 8. So once again, Chris might be going for that, you know, constant KO play. And Chris is now going to awaken by going down to 4 life. Plays the Monaka. And when you awaken, reset the Monaka. Kind of like that rule change. I feel like it was a little buff to Mecha Frieza.
Yeah, that way they don't have to give away 2 cards.
Right, yeah. It's a good thing for Mecha Frieza. So swing with leader, get some card draw. Josh is at 7 life, so Chris knows he's got time. There's no way he's going to awaken anytime soon. And Chris is getting into a KO right off the bat. He's going to have to kill one of his own guys. Kill a Broly.
I think Josh just needs to take the damage.
Ooh, he negates it.
Doesn't want to get crit again.
Right.
Only thing is he doesn't have any self-awakening in hand, so...
Right. Yeah, I think taking the crit, sometimes you just gotta accept that fact. You know, back in Set 1 days when Vegeta was so popular, and it was the Vegeta versus Ginyu matchup, I remember watching videos of Jordan Markle saying, you know, you just gotta take the first 4 crits from Vegeta. You just have to take it. You know, whatever it takes to just get awakened first. Man, so those Towas, we thought they were going to come in clutch. It was kind of filling up his hand.
Right. So that kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. I don't think they're as useful as people think.
Yeah. It's going to be nice here, though.
Yes.
Steal that Kaba.
One thing to note is Josh has 2 black energy.
Oh, yeah.
Not very good. He needs to charge a red. And then he'll be okay.
That's right. So you can't even play a Kaba if he wants to.
Not to mention he just lost one.
Yeah. He does get the 15k and the critical. And he now does have more than 5 in his warp, so the super combos are live.
I think he needs to attack with leader and combo both of those cards.
Right.
Put some pressure on. Maybe do a furthering. See another negate from Welch. Chris drawing into a Shugesh. Wow.
Right. Chris has negated almost every leader attack that had critical and 5k boost.
Yeah. People always ask how to beat, a lot of mecha players ask how to beat Mass Saiyan, and Oh, we have time called.
Oh, okay.
They might have an extension. I'm not sure. But yeah, negating the leader's early attacks is very powerful against Massey.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna combo, I think, just to draw some cards.
Right. It's timeless call. So it'll be interesting to see how this
They
plays
are
out.
2 undefeated, so if they tie, one will get up paired, one will get down paired. And then if they win again, it's guaranteed top cut.
Yeah.
And if they lose, only maybe one of them might make it.
Right.
Still no self-awakening cards in Josh's hand. I think those really need to be 4-ofs in that deck.
The self-awakening cards?
The,
Yes.
the Mass Saiyan and the
And the Kabas?
Kabas.
Yeah, definitely. So is Toa a 10k base? I
Yes.
believe so. So this is a 30k attack coming in.
I'm going to play that on the Mass Saiyan to get some combo value.
Goku back.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Chris Welch seems to be sitting in a pretty good spot. I think next turn he'll charge a blue to make those senzu beans active.
Right. I mean, his board is looking great. His life is still very risky. I mean, you can't go down to it. It's just too risky.
Drawing a Crusher Ball, charging a blue.
He has 6 cards in his hand, so Kale is live with the swing. Overwhelmed Trunks.
Once again, we see that card being super useful.
Mm-hmm.
Still wondering why it's so cheap. Buy
So-
him now, folks.
So this is Chris's. This is turn 1 right here. So Josh has one more turn after this, and then Chris has one more turn. That'll be game over. So it will either be a draw or someone will take the win. I feel like it's hard for Chris to win in 2 turns. He has to get through 7 life.
Yeah, Josh might be able to get it if Chris goes in aggression and tries to awaken him. I feel like he's going to give the game to Josh.
I agree.
Because he already used 3 Nimbus. 3 or 4.
Right. I think I saw 2 for sure.
Yeah, if he awakens him.
Could be some trouble.
Gating the Kale.
Once again, he was so close to being awakened.
He wants that Trunks to attack. So he's going to hit him down to 3, or at least try to.
Right.
Drawing lots of cards.
Mm-hmm. I think if you're Josh here, you're in a pretty good spot. You know, I think you're playing the tie, playing the draw game, and on your turn you have a chance to win it all. Chris has to get through 6 life. It's going to be tough. But it does look like Chris is going pretty aggressive. Playing the aggressive Senzu Beans instead of saving them for defense.
Chris is going for that win, knowing that if he gets 2 more, he's in top cut.
Yeah, very aggressive.
Josh is going to combo out of this.
Just a negate.
Wants to get hit by that Trunks. Down to 4. I think he should have taken it. See that Broly come out. Josh is going to have to discard 2 cards.
Discarded a coercion.
Josh is going to try and win the next turn, I bet.
That's what it's looking like.
Oh. Drew the same cards he discarded. It's going over to Josh's turn.
It's Josh's turn. Now he has a chance to swing at the leader and try to possibly win. Or he could just do nothing and save all this stuff for the defense if he feels like he could protect himself at 3 life and play that game. He does have a blocker. See what he does. And he hasn't awakened yet. He charges the blocker, so he might go aggressive here.
There's that Massane, so he can pop one of Chris's threats, which would be pretty nice to maybe get rid of that Kale.
He hasn't awakened yet. Might have forgot about it.
I sure hope not.
Because you can Massane, unawakened, get the 5k boost, do it again.
Get another 5k.
Right.
Crit. I think that's what he's going to go for. Take 1 life, pop the Kale.
It's a Yajirobe from life. And there's the Massing effect. Gets the boost.
Just needs the boost up. He's going to awaken right now.
Alright, so he did not forget about it.
Hopefully he doesn't have...
Okay, he's awakening.
It draws a Haru.
Oh wow.
Got him thinking. We know Chris has a Crusher Ball.
It's another 5k boost. So this leader is 25k.
Critical.
Right. And he has 2 furtherings in hand.
As long as Chris doesn't have that Nimbus, I think Josh can take it.
Yeah. He swings with leader first.
It does have Shugesh into something.
It's Kaba.
Now he's drawing all his self-awakening.
He has no red cards to play the Kaba.
Senzu Bean.
30. Ooh, there it is. 35. Wow, that is a big commitment to draw someone to 1 life. And keep yourself at 3 cards.
I think he could have got away with just the Senzu or Champa. He's already 25. He would have been at 40.
Right.
Chris only has 4 cards in hand.
Yeah, so Chris is just going to take this. That hurts. The Goku Black hurts. Being able to Sugesh into that would have been nice for him. So now, Josh is going to go for it with this Massane swing.
Yep.
He's going for a hard play.
I wonder if he's going to attack with it.
I think he's going to attack with it first. Oh, nice. He attacks.
He's going to combo with it.
Yep. Very nice. 30.
Just the pump matters.
35.
The one tricky thing with this play is making sure your opponent doesn't have Shugesh into explosive, which obviously
Sugesh into a Kaba.
gets some value.
Yep. So he's at 25. Gets the Koifa.
Don't.
He has a kill there as well.
Unless he has another. I don't
No
think
more
it matters.
Sugesh.
Doesn't matter. Well, he can Senzu. So
30,
he'll be tied.
35, 25, 30.
He needs to land it. He needs to land this Kaba.
Yeah, which he did. So.
But he didn't attack with the.
Right.
Should
So.
have comboed with it.
Yep. If he would have comboed with it, it would have been game.
He's gonna probably. And the
25, 30, 35, 40. Yep.
Senzu Bean screws him over.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh,
I think I would have attacked with the Haru first if I was.
see, I think it's yeah, one of those things you just gotta expect. You know, if the Senzu Bean is there, then Haru Haru becomes useless. You should combo with it. But if it's not there, then it's great because, you know, freezes that one life. So yeah.
Turn 3, I think Welch is just going to attack with his big Broly. Well, obviously he's going to attack with leader, draw some cards.
No, I think you just swing with Broly.
Swing with Broly, combo.
You don't have to. Josh has no hand. Yep. This game. Yep. See, just said he's going to attack with Broly. 20k double strike. Wow. What a game. What a game. That was intense.
It's really close, too.
Yeah, Josh. That was Josh's game.
Yeah,
he had it.
He had it. If he just, I think he's realizing that right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
If he had just comboed with that 5k, yeah, he's realizing it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a nail biter.
But being a Mass Saiyan player myself, almost every game is like that.
Yeah, comes down to the last few combo cards.
Yeah, because the first game, you could probably sweep them decently easy if you get a good hand. But then the second game is pretty hard. And then if it goes to game 3, it's going to be a nail-biter for sure.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and Josh cited in some really good tech cards against Mecha Veggies. Might play with the ratios a little bit. Maybe you don't need 4 Gotens and 4 Toas. Maybe you could get away with 2 Toas. Or maybe even 2 Gotens. Because Mass Saiyan does feel the discard pile pretty well. So playing the Toa is not a problem. Just playing it efficiently is the problem.
And then that play at the very end there, I think that just comes down to play testing and experience, knowing how much combo power of each Frieza deck can put out with that many cards in hand. And I think if Josh had a little more play testing, a little more practice, and he did combo the Haru Haru, he would have won it.
Yeah, you know,
we know he would have won it, but
there was 2 crucial parts there. When he swung with the leader to double strike critical,
he didn't need to combo that high.
He comboed very high. He could have kind of scaled back a little bit, and you know, Chris obviously took it because he couldn't combo over it. If he could combo over it, he's not going to take it. But I think like he went up to 65. I think.
Yeah.
It was a crazy high number.
It was like 20 plus.
It was 25 base. You had played the Champa.
And a Senzu.
Super combo, right? There was a super combo there
and
too.
A
I think.
Senzu Bean.
Yeah, that was way too high. I think, you know, keeping it around 55,000 would have been nice. You know, it would have got at least 3-4 cards out of Chris's hand. It wasn't that critical to go for it right there. But yeah, it's something with playtesting you'll learn and find out. And both Chris and Josh are talking about it right now, so they're taking some good notes, learning about their matchup.
And that's one thing I recommend to every player is if there's a really close game, just sit down and talk with your opponent about it. See kind of what their thought process was, what yours was, how you could have done better, and collaborate.
Absolutely, yep. Knowledge is power in this game, you know. The more you know about which plays are optimal to make, the more success you'll find.
Okay, so while that match was wrapping up, I did go ahead and start the raffle, you guys. So everyone who's watching, the raffle is currently open. So if you have not entered the raffle yet, I suggest you guys do so immediately. Don't forget the command is !ticket space and the number 1. And you will get 1 ticket and 1 ticket only. You will not get any more tickets than that.
So that's round 4. 2 more rounds to go.
Yes. So it looks like you need to get 4-1 to make the top cut. Or no.
4-1-1 kind of
4-1-1.
makes it.
5-1.
5-1 for sure makes it, yeah. There'll be one
So
undefeated.
Josh is going to need to win out his next 2 rounds.
Right.
And this leaves Chris still undefeated.
Yep.
So going into the 5th round, he'll be battling for that top seat in Swiss.
Yeah. No, that was actually really impressive from Josh. You know, I tell everybody that it's an auto win for Mecha Veggies. And even though Chris wasn't playing Mecha Veggies, so it's not like that was the deck he was playing, but Chris had a really hard time. So it wasn't an auto win. Master Saiyan definitely put up a really good fight. And like we saw, it was Master Saiyan's win. Master Saiyan should have won that game. But so
I think that's another thing is just being open to older cards because Sun Goten Family of Justice came out in the demo decks.
Yeah.
And when the new set came out, I feel like people just forgot about it. And everyone's like, oh, I can play all these awesome 3-drops with Shugesh. But they didn't think about, oh, I can kill all these awesome 3-drops with this Sun Goten.
Yeah, and now that it's so popular, Shugesh is so popular, that I see people mainboards Sun Goten.
Yeah, it's just super good against it.
Right, you for sure have to side Sun Gotens. You know, that's a given. But some people even mainboard it. It's definitely not a bad choice.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough matchup for Josh if he goes up against Apes next. That was one thing I kind of noticed about Mass Saiyan decks is they usually are teched against a certain Frieza deck.
Right.
He's teched against green, obviously, with his Toas and stuff. But Apes is going to be tough.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's tough because, you know, Mecha Frieza, such a versatile leader. You could face either the Mecha Greens or Mecha Red, which is super aggressive early, or you could face against the Apes, which stabilizes the board, you know, mid-game and becomes this wall that you can't get through. So how do you prep for it, you know? Both are played very popularly. It's not like one is dominating the meta. It's a pretty 50-50 field, you know?
Yeah.
People either play Apes or they play Veggies or Turbo GT, you know? Turbo GT has been going down a bit, so it's definitely more Veggies and Apes. But, yeah, it's really tough to prepare for both.
Right. But once someone figures out that list, I feel like it'll be the next Tier 1 deck.
Yeah. Vados?
Vados. Yes, there was a Vados today.
Yeah, I love that Vados deck. I can't wait to go home and play test that.
Seems like they could just attack into your Kabas and, and kill everything.
Yeah, it destroyed Mecha Veggies. I don't know how it will do against Apes. I remember watching some videos of Pat O'Neill say it's good against Apes, so can't wait to try it out. We'll see.
I mean, on the Awakened side, they're 15k, and if they attack a battle card, they get +5. So they'll be a 20, so they could theoretically just kill a blocker every turn.
Yeah.
As long as they don't, I mean, they'll have to combo to defend it, but that'll run out eventually.
Right, absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to do the ad roll real fast.
All right.
So that way we can acknowledge all of our sponsors. Shout outs to Hot Cocoa by the Fire. You can check them out at hotcocoa.com. All their social media right there. They're a gaming podcast. They'll be releasing their new podcast here pretty soon. Also, shout outs to Hitbox. If you play fighting games, go to hitboxarcade.com and pick up your own little Hitbox. It works with many consoles, and it is all buttons. And also a huge shout out to Ultra Pro. They are responsible for giving us our mats that we are giving away. So those of you guys in the stream chat right now that are entering the raffle, you guys be sure to send your thanks to Ultra Pro. We are going to be raffling off that mat in the middle, the All-Stars mat, right now after this small break. And then at the end of the night, we will be raffling off the Goku one. So be sure to tune in if you guys don't win one. We've already got a winner for the other one, the Dragon Ball Super TCG one right there at the bottom. And then if you win one, be sure to check out your local game store. Go to ultrapro.com and buy the matching card sleeves and card deck or card box. And finally, shout outs to World 8. You can check them out at world-8.com if you're in the LA area. They are in the Koreatown. They're actually in the center of Koreatown. They have all of your video game needs, including plushies, figures, headsets, etc. Be sure to check them out if you are in the LA area, or if not, go to world-8.com. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and have a small, give you guys a little break, and we're going to do some of the videos, just have some commercials. Yep. So we'll be back in about a minute and a half. Be sure to keep entering the raffle, you guys. Remember, we will be closing it just before round 5. We will announce a winner, and then we will go straight into round 5. So, yes. My God. Yes, the dumbass 69. The command is exclamation point ticket space 1. You did it correctly. Despite your username. You did actually do it right. You are entered. Alrighty. So we'll be back in about a minute 45. We need to give these guys their breaks. That way they can drink their water and stuff. Keep watching, you guys, alright?
What is your wish?
Oh, mighty Shenron, I wish I was a real boy.
Your wish is granted.
Oh, what?
World 8.
Hey, M, what did Ken say to Dalsim when he asked if he could borrow $5? Sure you can. Hey, how did Sagat cure Ryu from the measles? He gave him a tiger shot. Hey, what was the last thing your dad said before he abandoned your family when you were a child? Bye, son.
World 8. World 8.
You're on, Donkey Kong. Let's race. I win.
World 8.
Hey, Scorpion. You're my best friend.
World 8.
Get over here!
Hey, Scorpion, what's up?
Hey, can I borrow $5?
World 8.
Hey, guys. X here. Come on down to World 8 where you can find all sorts of great Mega Man stuff. Like board games, pint glasses, headphones, figures, and games.
World 8.